So let's talk about Ramadan. For millions of people around the world, it's known as the month of fasting from sunrise to sunset. But the purpose goes so much deeper than just not eating or drinking. We're going to get into what that really means. It's a question a lot of people have, and it's a fair one. What's the real meaning behind this month-long practice? I mean, it seems like a huge test of willpower, but the transformation it's aiming for, that's all happening on the inside.
And that right there is the key. The feeling of hunger isn't the actual goal. Think of it more as a tool. It's the catalyst for this really profound journey of personal and spiritual growth. Okay, so let's completely reframe how we look at this. Instead of thinking of Ramadan as a month of deprivation, picture it more like a 30-day spiritual training program. It's kind of like a reset for your soul, designed to make your inner self that much stronger.
This is the foundation for everything. Every single act, every moment of patience, every prayer during this month is all pointed towards one huge objective: to polish your character and deepen that connection with the divine.
So let's peel back the first layer of this onion, which is the journey inward. This part is all about what happens inside a person when they fast. It's about building self-discipline and this really unique kind of awareness. And that brings us to a super important concept, taqwa. Honestly, this is the ultimate goal of the fast. It's not just about believing God exists. It's about living your life with this constant, quiet awareness that He's always there and sees everything you do.
And here's how that physical act connects directly to the spiritual goal. I mean, think about it. You could easily sneak a sip of water when no one's looking, right? But you don't. Why? Because you're conscious of God's presence. Doing that for 30 days straight basically trains your brain to carry that awareness into every other part of your life, making your moral compass stronger.
Right? And this self-control isn't just about food. It's like a training ground for your soul. The thinking is, if you can master a basic primal urge like hunger, you start building the spiritual muscle to control your anger, to be more patient when things get tough, and to consciously stay away from negative stuff like gossip. It's a full-on purification of your character.
Okay, so beyond just self-discipline, Ramadan is also a time to actively work on deepening your spiritual connection. And this happens through some very specific acts of worship. Now, this is a huge deal. The whole month is considered sacred because it's when the very first verses of the Qur'an, Islam's holy book, were revealed to the Prophet Muhammad. That history alone makes it an incredibly special time for reflection. So the idea is that the physical emptiness you feel from fasting is meant to be filled with spiritual nourishment. During Ramadan, you'll find many Muslims spending way more time with the Qur'an, not just reading the words, but really trying to understand their meaning and figure out how to apply it to their own lives. The days and nights of Ramadan are just buzzing with this increased devotion. There are special nightly prayers called Taraweeh. There are these deep personal prayers called Dua, a huge focus on seeking forgiveness, and a really big emphasis on charity. It's a month of supercharged spiritual activity. All right, so we've talked about the personal, inward journey, but the impact of Ramadan doesn't just stop with the individual. It creates this powerful ripple effect that spreads out into the whole community.
And that's a great question, right? If this is such a personal, internal thing, how does it actually benefit everybody else? Well, the answer comes down to one really powerful emotion. This is the bridge that connects you to other people. By feeling those pangs of hunger, even for just a little while, you can develop a real genuine empathy for people who are poor and who feel that every single day. It's a lesson that you feel in your gut, not just one you hear about.
And that empathy, it leads directly to action. You see charity go way up. You see families and friends sharing meals together before dawn and after sunset. The mosques are packed for community prayers. This shared experience just tightens the bonds of the whole community, creating this atmosphere of kindness and unity. Okay, so let's bring all these pieces together. We've got self-discipline, a deeper connection to faith, and community compassion. All of these things are pointing toward one ultimate purpose for the month. Muslims believe that Ramadan is this special window of time when the doors of God's mercy and forgiveness are thrown wide open. It's seen as the perfect opportunity to wipe the slate clean, to be forgiven for past mistakes, and to just receive an abundance of blessings. And all of this builds up to the spiritual peak of the entire month. See, toward the end of Ramadan, there's one specific night called Laylat al-Qadr, the night of power. It's considered incredibly sacred.
In fact, worship on this one single night is believed to be more rewarding than 1,000 months of devotion. That's over 83 years of worship packed into one night. And in the end, that's what it's all about. The fasting, the prayers, the charity, the reflection, it's all designed so that when those 30 days are over, a person is left changed for the better, hopefully with more patience, more empathy, more discipline, and a much deeper relationship with God.
So the true purpose of Ramadan isn't really about what you give up for a month. It's about who you become because of it. And it leaves you with this powerful idea that through a little bit of temporary restraint, we can unlock real, lasting, positive change in ourselves.